I don't like arts and crafts. I hate glitter, and honestly, I'm not even sure with the homeschool thing. Hey Flourish fam, I'm Carla, a school counselor turned home cultivator and hopeless lover of the family. Grab that pile of laundry, mama, and join me for chats on intentional parenting that helps families flourish. I know you've seen her on your feed. That mom who's doing all the things with her perfectly clean kids and house. And you say to yourself, those aren't my giftings. And those are not my kids. I don't even know where to begin with homeschooling. I've got you. Hang out for a bit to hear a good place to start with your homeschool day. Before we jump in, if you're new here, hey mama, hey. We'd love for you to stick around, so hit that subscribe button and notification bell to get more on how to help your home thrive. Ever wonder if you could really homeschool because it seems like so much? Wondering how to get your homeschool off to the best start? Start with a morning time routine. If the idea of planning your homeschool mornings sounds daunting, then don't freak out. I've got you covered. Matter of fact, if you're new to the homeschool thing or you're considering the possibility for your family, hey, share some things you'd like some clarity on, and I'd love to explore it and chat more about it. And if this ain't your first rodeo, please share something encouraging in the comments to those who are venturing into the wild world of homeschooling. I personally kind of am a second generation-ish homeschooler. Okay, honestly, my mom homeschooled my younger brothers in the days when Becca was the only decent option and there wasn't the wealth of information there is now. Though I personally went all the way through my K-12 years in either a magnet or honors program in public schools, my family never stopped learning, so I considered my mom part of the OGs of the homeschool world. Growing up in my home, summers were filled with going to the libraries, reading books, doing math for fun, reading about different cultures, going on field trips or family trips, exploring different pockets. We did all sorts of fun things as a family. And so, in a sense, my summers were homeschooled-ish. I grew up in a family where schooling and learning was just more of a way of life than it was an institution. With that mindset, my husband and I have pretty much homeschooled our 3 boys since birth because we knew very early we wanted to homeschool, and well, learning is not something you do in a school building. Learning is for life. Our oldest is now in classical conversations, which is called CC in the homeschool circles, and that's a half day for 1 day a week. But what about the rest of those days, you might ask? Well, you guys, we keep it so simple. For starters, we only aim for 4 days of intentional structured lessons a week, with our Ace, our oldest kiddo, being 5, our Deuce, second kiddo, being 3, and our Tris, our third and youngest, turning 1. It would be crazy to do more. If your kiddos are in or around those same buckets, I'd recommend the same, honestly. The other day or so, we typically reserved for family chores or field trips. Reading aloud daily to them and play are pretty much the only requirements all around at this point. With Ace starting to read since around the time he was 4, we now also incorporate reading lessons to continue to build those skills. Now Deuce is showing interest in reading too, but I can tell we'll be taking a very different approach with him. The one thing that has been revolutionary though for our homeschool is including a morning routine. Some call this morning basket, morning time, morning meetup, morning symposium, but the basic premise is that the morning starts with the same routine or rhythm, which helps your child shift into instruction mode. For some families, this can be a time for a read aloud, scripture memorization, hymns, catechisms, or morning announcements to be had. Because I don't have loads of time to plan this out, I've been using the Morning Time curriculum by Brighter Day Press. And honestly, it's such a rich resource that we haven't even gotten through the first volume. Mind you, we've been using this since my Ace was 3. It's been so cool because it really has taken the legwork out of preparing for a morning time routine with your crew. It's a rich resource that really primes your kids with beautiful content, including scripture studies, composer studies, hymns, and classical pieces. It even includes arts and art piece studies, poetry, and suggested read aloud books from the classics. I think every other family who ventures into homeschooling can attest. I feel like I'm getting a whole other education. Mind you, I have a master's degree, but I feel like I'm learning so much more from my kids and from homeschooling. This particular resource is truly a trove of treasures as I learn alongside my children. And like I said, I actually started using morning time curriculum when our first two were 3 and 1. Yes, it was a little ambitious, but we're all for laying the feast before them. I'll leave a link of the Bright Adair Press curriculum down in the description box. It's a thoughtfully done, ready-made option for moms who are on the busier side or just appreciate the help with planning. Fill up their children's hearts with good and beautiful things and has made keeping it simple possible. If you're trying to get your homeschool off to a good start, establishing a good morning time routine is a game changer. For me, what I've observed in my kids is that it helps them know, like, this is our school. Like, we are establishing our school day. Because we live in the world that we live in and the K-12 public system has just become so ubiquitous in the way that people navigate, it's not uncommon for our kids to hear messages about going to school. So for homeschool families, I think a morning time curriculum really anchors in that homeschool day. It helps our kids to know that this is home, this is school, and now it's time to learn. For those of you who've implemented a good morning time routine, please share what has been helpful for your family. This is a community where we can all grow and learn from each other. Hey, if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that notification bell so we can stay in touch. And if you like this video, you'll probably like this one. See ya!